Hello, everybody. It's Stacy. How are you? It is new moon. Happy new moon. I wanted to try something new. I know I was doing the writing series, which is still on IGTV, so feel free to check those out. But this is something a little bit different. I wanted to really dive into the concepts that I learned about and really explored and then wrote about in my book series. Has a lot to do with really connecting to the wisdom within, especially for women. I know men are very wise as well, but my series is really geared toward women. And I was thinking, today it's the new moon, and I always like to use the moons as anchors for just one, for fun. It's fun to be part of the celestial movements, and two, also just as like something that keeps me moving forward, right? Just some goalposts to keep me moving forward in my calendar and in the things that I wish to get done in a month. So on the new moon, I like to set an intention, and as far as what I would like to see come into my life in the month ahead. And this is the new moon in Virgo, which is all about beauty, right? Virgo. And it's funny, I was reading in National Geographic, they said that they found some evidence of life on Venus. Another nod to beauty, which is amazing. And but that's off track. But all celestial. And so I was thinking about how I want to incorporate my series and some things that are worthwhile to you as listeners of this channel. And so I wanted to start actually with my mom. Because I'm actually running a workshop later, and I had asked the ladies to bring a picture of their mothers, because the word lineage is really, it has been coming up a lot for me, and it may in your own life too, like our ancestors, and especially the women in our past and in our families, that there's so much going on in the planet right now as far as purging and cleaning out of old wounds and these ancestral wounds that have been in the earth, the fires. And just take a moment to just pray for those who are affected by the fires on the west coast of the US, and the animals. And it's it's all part, to look at it from the higher perspective. It's all part of the purging, right? It's all part of the cleaning out that karmic debris that has just been in our souls for eons. And that's the celestial view. There's also the world view, which is that this is a very real thing, and it's hurting a lot of people, and it's a very real pain for so many, and we have to acknowledge that and help as much as we possibly can. And even if it's just donating to a relief fund, or if you're nearby, the heroes that are emerging that are helping people and animals in this time. But it just my heart wanted to say that, so that was off track of my topic, but let's just all pray for them. So back to my mom. I'm ready with my picture. So I wanted to show you right there. There's my mom. And this was actually a Polaroid picture. I mean, this is one of the few pictures that I have of my mom, right? I don't know, many of you know, my mom passed in 2004, and her passing really was the biggest catalyst for change in my life. The biggest. Having my son was my biggest joy in life, but my mother's death was the biggest change, the biggest catalyst for change in my life. And it's 444 as I said that, so just want to point that out. And so it's important, it's important after the grieving process to try and find the wisdom in the painful experiences of life, because that's what they're there for. I mean, it's all of the painful experiences in our lives are here for us to use to transform. And it's not the it's easy to say, and then when you're in it, it's like it's the last thing you want to hear, and I get that. But at some point afterwards, it's using that hurt and that tearing open of your heart to then say, okay, God, what am I supposed to do with this pain? And because so many people are going through so much pain right now, and for so many different reasons. It's like we can't catch our breath from one thing to the next. It's just constant, really big things, and they're only going to continue, right? We are in this series of years of transformation while we're deconstructing what the world looks like now, and we can't get to that future until we just demolish all of the things that were pillars for our existence, right? We're seeing the decimation of education is on its ear and a complete mess, and healthcare is a complete mess, and religion is falling apart, and people are leaving religion to find their own sense of connection to God on their own. Politics is at its all-time low. So I mean, which says a lot. So it's like these pillars of our lives are all just getting dismantled. And so one thing you've heard me say before is, okay, what can we do to shape what we want our world to look like? And it's funny because in Sky of Water that came out in May, it revolves around the 2020 presidential election. And yes, it is fiction, but and I don't want to give a piece away, which I may have already done in an old feed, but a lot of what we are all fighting about right now literally gets washed away by water. Granted, it's fiction, so you get to have the creative license to do what you would like, but literally our world gets cleansed with water to start anew, and it's a metaphor. And if we can look to the books that we love to read and the stories that we want to tell as metaphor for how we want to create our life, I mean, that is worth doing. That to me, and that's what I've tried to do with my series, and I've tried to do with the teachings that I have on here and on my website, and the course that I made. It's all about taking your story and finding the wisdom in that story to use to help others, and to use as aha moments for yourself, to be like, okay, this happened to me, analyze it and use it to then propel you onto the next phase of your journey of life, right? And so that is what your life is all about. That's what my life is all about. And so I was talking about lineage and the need for we as women take on, and men do this as well, we take on the pain of those that came before us, right? My mother had a very traumatic childhood, and was of an era where you didn't go to therapy, and you didn't talk about your traumas. And so she carried that with her literally to her deathbed. And so then that gets passed on to me. And I didn't even realize for so long that I was carrying the pains and traumas of my mother that that are in my DNA, they're in my blood, they're in my skin, they're in my cells. And so the work that I have had to do on myself and all of the B came to say hello. Woo! He's saying hello. All of the work that I had to do, I feel like I've gotten to the place where I can say that I have put her traumas and my own behind me and put them into a place where I can use them and as wisdom going forward into my own life. And so I would encourage you to sit. I've done a lot of internal work, and I don't necessarily call it meditation. I call it a connection practice and a connection process. And I've talked about this before, about really going into your heart. And it's about connecting to your body's wisdom, not just, and it honestly has nothing to do with your mind's wisdom. It has to do with your body's wisdom, what your cells are wanting to release and what they want to tell you. And so I offer you an invitation to find 5 minutes in your day to, especially now on the new moon, right? Even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour would be amazing. To really just sit with yourself and sit with your actual heart and drop your awareness down into your heart center and ask it, what do you want to share with me? What are you ready to release? What do you want to share with me? What about my mother do I want to release for her? And you can make this new moon about setting an intention for helping to clear the air in our environment, in our world, for the fires, as well as for your mom and her mom and all of the women that came before you. And if you're a man watching this, all of the men that came before you. There's a lot of healing that needs to happen around the sacred masculine right now, and that's for a different video. But it's important to acknowledge. It's important to acknowledge the pain and ask your heart what it wants to teach you, and ask for help with release, because if you ask for help, it is always given. So I hope that was helpful. And I just wanted to come on and say hi because I haven't been on a couple weeks. So I hope that you all have a blessed new moon and a great rest of your week. And I'll see you on the equinox, actually, because that's a special day for me, because that's the reason I wrote my books. Not the reason, but it's the equal night of light and dark, and that is what my book is, the Equal Night Trilogy. So I will be back on the equinox. Be well, everybody. Be well. I will see you all soon. Take care.